The high point of the chapter for me was getting some insight into Kakashi and the Sharingan Eye, its uses, and just kind of Kakashi and his background.
This is number 12 of Naruto. Game over, my friend. No restarting the router. Game over.
Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome, awe-inspiring tale of Naruto. Our last chapter saw us with us formerly being introduced to and him coming upon, of course, Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi, Naruto, who were guiding Mr. Tazuna, is Zabuza, who I'm assuming this Momochi Zabuza is going to be the antagonist for this particular arc, or at least this portion of the arc. And at the end of the chapter, as he kind of, they saw him up in the tree, and he was, about poised to attack, him and Kakashi exchanged a few words, and he said that Kakashi was the one with the, what wound up happening is that he knows who Kakashi is, right? So the chapter ends off there, and then it goes and it picks up, and it's kind of cool, because as it ended, you had Kakashi going, and he was about to go, and he holds the headband over his one eye on an angle, and I always kind of wondered why. I didn't know if he was missing an eye or what his deal was there, but anyway, as the chapter ended, he was about to go and pull it off, like, all right, now it's time to get busy, right? So the chapter picks up, and he immediately goes and pulls this off, and this and that, and he winds up saying, Zabuza says, I've heard of Kakashi of the Sharingan Eye, and I'm like, what the hell? And they're talking about this mirror wheel eye, and I've heard of him and this and that. And then he goes on to explain, that he goes, basically, when I was an assassin for the Kirigakuri clan, we kind of had like a who's who book on some of probably the more prominent ninja and stuff like that from the various clans, and there was just a whole bunch of stuff on you. It's said to be that that Kakashi of the Mirror Eye, the Sharingan Eye, has mastered the technique of copying over 1,000 different moves. So, and as a matter of fact, for the whole explanation of the mirror wheel eye and everything like that, we're going to bring in my friend over here. So I'm just going to step out for just a second and let him take it away for you.
Oh, right.
Shinobi who have the Sharingan Eye have mastered a form of ocular ninjutsu. It enables them to penetrate and see the reality behind any illusion or spell, and to reflect the power of the magics they penetrate back on those who cast them. A mirror wheel, or Sharingan Eye, is one of several types used by the masters. But wait! There's more! Actually, there is more. Most formidable of all is the acuity with which the Sharingan can discern and then duplicate its opponent's greatest skill. Back to you, dummy. Oh, good. Okay. See, it's nice. I tell you, I don't feed him. I don't pay him. Nothing. It's perfect, and it just works for me. It's kind of like a trained monkey, except for he still shits on the floor. But whatever. It is what it is. So as it goes into this, and you can see the whole time, this is it's kind of bothering Sasuke for some reason, and it kind of comes out as the chapter progresses that it's rumored to be that there's only certain members of the Uchiha clan, of course, which he is a part of, that possess that mirror wheel eye, that Sharingan Eye. And I'm actually not sure if it's pronounced Sharingan or Sharingan, if it's a soft G or if it's a hard G. Everything that I found kind of pointed to Sharingan or Sharingan. So that's kind of what I'm going to go with until somebody corrects me on it, But anyway, the point is that Zabuza over here has kind of, called out Kakashi on some of his powers, and supposedly, he's able to use this eye to look at and be able to copy and master others' techniques, which I think is an awesome power, to be honest with you. It's just as good as having something where you can clone your body and whatnot, except for instead of cloning yourself to look like somebody else, no, forget that whole noise. Let's be able to clone other people's moves, which I think is great, because especially when you get into some of these techniques, throwing fireballs, cloning yourself, I'm sure that there's just, the possibilities are endless, and being able to watch somebody else's move and then being able to copy it, I think is cool, and not just like mimic it, like actually be able to perform it with the same efficiency that it was performed by the person who you're copying it from. So I think it's very cool.
And then it kind of goes into this whole thing where Kakashi goes and tells them to get in their manji battle formation and to protect Mr. Tizuna. And he's like, and he explains, he's like, Zabuza's gonna come for me first, right? So Zabuza then all of a sudden goes and he's like, and he goes and he kind of disappears and reappears, and he's like standing on the water, and he's got this huge sword that looks like something from like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. It's like this giant sword. And it's like the size of his body, which actually looks pretty cool, I think, So this guy goes in and he's over on water and everything like that. And he's like, what the hell? And you get Kakashi goes and he says, oh, man, he goes, that bastard, he must have built up his chakra, which I'm assuming is probably like maybe like something like your inner strength, or maybe it's like your power that kind of allows you to use some of these arts, some of these ninja arts, the magics, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, he goes on to explain, and he says it's called the Kirigakuri Jutsu. And that's obviously what he's doing as far as, going on the water and everything else here. And I thought that was kind of cool, just how he was able to do that. Then he goes and he just disappears. And Kakashi's like, all right. And that's when he's like, all right, don't worry. He's going to come for me first, but protect Mr. Tizuna, blah, 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 And as he's kind of looking around and everything else, it goes to Sasuke. And Sasuke goes, and I think what Sasuke was getting at when he was going through this is the person that he wants to kill, that he's supposed to kill. And it seems like Kakashi knows about all this too. It may in fact be Kakashi, or somebody that Kakashi knows, or maybe has been like a brother in arms with or something like that, because that's kind of where Sasuke is going with that whole thing, you know what I mean? He's like, okay, it seems like only a select few of the Uchiha clan have this mirrored eye, so that's kind of what I've taken from it anyway. So I think now Sasuke is a little bit on the defensive, like, what's this guy all about, right? But anyway, so they're standing there, they're kind of getting ready to protect and everything like that in this formation, and it's kind of cool because you go and you see, this is the intimidation thing. You got you can't see Zabuza, right? But then he goes and all of a sudden it's just like this voice bubble comes out about like the 8 points, the 8 detrimental points, like the eight points that you could use to like pretty much assassinate somebody very quickly on a human being. Then he goes into him over here, the kidney, the heart. Here he goes. It's pretty cool what he says. What does he say? I'm sorry. Yeah. Throat, spinal column, lungs. The way they doing this weird stuff, you can't actually tell it's hard to read the text the way they print it. Sorry, but he's basically talking about kidney, hearts, throat, lungs, all these different areas that you can hit and pretty much get a one-hit kill. And like I said, you got all the kids, the new recruits basically. They're coming out of training. Even Sasuke's freaking, man. He's just like, I cannot let my guard down for a second, or he's gonna go and kill me, And that's what Kakashi winds up saying. I mean, he does wind up saying, "Don't worry, I'll protect you guys no matter what. Even if he winds up getting the better of me, I'll still protect you." However, he tells him prior to that, he's like, don't slip up, don't nothing. This is a guy that's like a one-hit kill. He's like a trained like ninja in the art of stealth assassination, So Sasuke, of course, he's on edge, man, He's just like a feral tiger waiting to strike, but you can only hold that adrenaline for so long, and he's saying this like, I don't know how much longer I can do this, And that's when Kakashi goes and can kind of sense that or feel that, and he's like, dude, it's cool, just chill, don't worry about it. I'll protect you no matter what. So then he goes and he says, I'll protect my comrades. I like this one too, because he winds up using this as he's like, it's about to go down. And then he goes and he says, I'll never let my comrades die, right? And he kind of goes and looks out and everything like that. Next thing you know, all of a sudden Zabuza goes and appears, and it looks like he appears just like right in the midst of everybody. And I don't know if he just kind of throws everybody back because he's trying to get Sasuke and Sakura and Naruto far enough away from Tizuna to where he can grab him and kill him, because obviously that's his hit, that's his assassination. But everybody he like appears, everybody kind of winds up going and flying back, and it's like Kakashi anticipated the move, at least that's what it appears like, because then it looks like he goes and kind of gets him right in the gut. And I don't know if he it kind of looks like he went and he like shanked him maybe with one of the kunai or something like that, and was able to get him, at least, and wound him. And then it winds up turning around, the battle turns very quickly, and all of a sudden Naruto's like, no, Master Kakashi, behind you, because Zabuza has gotten behind him or what have you. Zabuza goes to do this move, and right? And all of a sudden Kakashi's body just like, instead of blowing apart like it did with the Oni brothers in blood and stuff like that, it winds up blowing apart and it's water, And I thought that was awesome, because just in that short period of time that he saw Zabuza and a little bit of his movement and what he did with this, Kirigakuri Jutsu, he was able to use that Sharingan Eye and obviously mirror and copy that movement. And the chapter ends up shortly after that, because even even Zabuza is like, what a water doppelganger? How the hell did he do that, like so quickly and learn this, So the next thing Kakashi is behind, and the chapter ends up with him, he appears behind Zabuza, and he's got one of his kunai to his throat, and he's just to the side of his throat, like right by his jugular, and he's just like, yeah, game over, buddy. And then it was kind of cool because you go and the chapter ends with him going, with him with the knife to the throat and everything like that. And Zabuza, he's not going to be beaten that easily, right? This is the first kind of major, I guess, like villain that you would say, antagonist, And Naruto's just like, awesome, this is great, And then it's funny, though, because Zabuza's just like, yeah, that's great. You may be good, but do you really think that you're going to get me that easily? And then that's how the chapter ends off. So you know that some shit's about to go down, All in all, a very enjoyable chapter, and I like the explanations, especially with like the Sharingan Eye and all that. It's something that kind of piques my interest, and I really want to just delve into further, because it's like I said, such a neat concept and idea for me to see anyway. But certainly that is my chapter question, though. What are your thoughts, brothers and sisters, on the Sharingan Eye? And of course, and I don't know at this point if this is something that you're kind of born with, if this is something that's like somehow like surgically attached, like some kind of contact lens to your eye where it kind of gives you almost like this computer like laser vision to learn things. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's like a straight up eyeball transplant, I mean, I really, because I'm very new to the series, I obviously don't know a lot of these different things. And I don't want to know all that right now, especially because it might be spoilerific. But, was that even a word? But what I would like to know from you in the comments down below is what your thoughts are on the Sharingan Eye, what's been explained so far, and just obviously the limitless possibilities, What are some of the different things that you would like to use it to be able to mimic, Leave your answer to that question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, or just for the hell of it, why not? And subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next One Nation.
Do you like English tea, giant female titans, or knives? If you answered yes to any of these questions, or just for the hell of it, go on over and check out my Facebook and Instagram pages.